Was it good? Huh. And what is that book about?
So basically, Laura Jean, she likes all of these boys, and then she has letters, and then her sister sends them all out, and then they find out, but Peter, who's the boy that she actually really likes a lot, gets mad at her.
Why'd he get mad at her? Okay,
Because
I guess you haven't read the book
this
yet.
one yet.
Oh, okay. I want that one, but I can't reach it. Yes. I like the cover a lot. I do too. Can either of you fit it in your hands?
Yeah.
Great. Grab maybe a box. If I film this, then I'll remember the ones I want to look at later, and I can buy them.
Anne of Green Gables is so good.
I can't buy all of them. I need to decide.
Very pretty cover.
I honestly just looked at the front of this one and thought it was like one of the most beautiful things I'd ever seen. Like, look at how pretty that is. She's got like planets coming out of her fingers, and it's only $8.
So I can see unicorn.
That's a narwhal, and I like it. I know.
This sounds really interesting. Oh, see? It's a sign. So far, out of the 9 books I chose, I've gotten rid of 1. That's not bad. I've done way worse. We're fine. I'm fine.
7, 8.
But those are for you. Those are gifts. Those don't count. Well, you're carrying yours. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jade of Jaded Reader, and today I'm doing my first book haul. So last weekend I had my little sister with me along with her friend. We set a budget for ourselves and went on the hunt. The first place we went to actually ended up being down the street. My local library was having a book sale, which was awesome because we ended up having a lot of hardcover books and they were at really good prices. So that was a lot of fun, and then after that we ended up going to Powell's Books. I think I explained Powell's Books in my reading vlog, but in case you didn't know, it is a new and used bookstore here in Portland, and it takes up several park blocks. Luckily, I think we only got lost once, and we were only in there for a few hours, but it was so much fun. And Powell's Books' atmosphere is always so welcoming and inviting, and it's always changing. It kind of always reminds me of Hogwarts and like the staircases and the Great Hall and everything like that, because everything always is changing and shifting. You could go to Powell's Books 2 weeks in a row and you would find something new and different there each time. So if you're ever in Portland, I highly recommend going to Powell's Books. Hold on. You can't scream like that. Anyway, so in case you're ever in Portland, I highly recommend Powell's Books, and of course, none of this information is sponsored. But let's cut the rambling short and get to the books. These did get a little mixed up after I got back to the house because we were trading, swapping, and looking at all the books. So unless it has a Powell's sticker on the back, I won't be able to tell you if it's from Powell's or not. And I'm sorry, I'll try and be a little bit more organized next time. First up, I do remember I got this from the library sale, and this was the first in the series of the Spiderwick Chronicles. I used to have the entire set when I was younger. I don't know what happened to it, but I plan on gaining them all back, and I figured what better way than to start with the first one. It was also incredibly cheap. So I was really happy with this, and are you done? I'm not petting you. You can't make me pet you. So I was really happy with this, and I plan on slowly but surely collecting the whole set again. Next up, I got Star-Crossed by Barbara D. This was also in the library sale, and it just seemed super cute. I actually don't know much about it, but on the back it seems like two 13-year-old girls who are opposite each other in a Romeo and Juliet play in their middle school. After that, I have Toothiana, Queen of the Tooth Fairy Armies, Book 3 by William Joyce. Okay, I admit I've never read this series and I bought the 3rd book. They only had the 3rd one there at the book sale, so I figured I would track down the rest, but this would keep it in my head, and it was only like $1. After that, I picked up A Hot Cold Summer by Nova Wheatman. This seemed as if it might be a middle grade contemporary with a bit of romance in it, and I've wanted to look more into that since I've noticed since being around my middle grade little sister, she reads a lot of YA and not a lot of middle grade, and she's interested in the contemporary romance YA, so I wanted to delve into a little bit more of the middle grade, and I'm hoping that's what this is. I don't have much information on it yet, but I will definitely get back to you on it. I remember being in middle school, and that was like the chief thing on my mind, my crush and what was going on in my social life. And while I love middle grade fantasies, probably more than anything, I definitely wanted to do a bit more research into middle grade romance, which was not something I was reading either when I was younger, so I just wanted to see what this genre had to offer. After that, it is Rebel of the Sands by Alwyn Hamilton. I really liked the cover. I thought it was incredibly pretty. It gave me kind of like Aladdin vibes when I was reading the back and what it was about. And while I do hate this non-removable sticker, it does say, like Katniss, like Rey, meet Amani, and I love both Katniss and Rey, so I would love to meet Amani. As far as I can tell, it's a coming-of-age adventure, but I do not know if it is set in a fantasy world or the real world. I'm just kind of keeping it at desert vibes for right now, and I'll find out more as I read. Then, believe it or not, this was a library sale. The book looks absolutely brand new, never read before. The cover itself really intrigued me, and I thought it might be like a middle grade thriller. It's called Nightmares by Jason Segel and Kristen Miller. From the illustrations, I definitely got kind of like a spooky vibe from it, and I've always loved these like jagged pages, so yeah. This was also like, I think it was $1 or $2 at the book sale, so I am stocked up on middle grade goodness. Next up is something I got from Powell's, and I have really been wanting to read a Rainbow Rowell book. I have never read anything by Rainbow Rowell, but everyone seems to really enjoy her books, and I've heard great things about Carry On, so I got Carry On at Powell's. It was discounted for Pride Month, and I'm really excited. I would have bought it full price, but it just made it that much sweeter that it was on sale, so I picked up Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. Then I admit this was a complete and total cover buy. I just really love foxes, and I went with Maybe a Fox by Kathy Alpelt and Allison McGee. From the back synopsis, it looks like this features 2 sisters where the younger disappears and somehow there is mysteriously a fox involved. I feel like this is a really short read and I picked it up, but I do plan on using it this month for my herbology owls. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will put a link down below where I released a video talking about my TBR for this month and how I am taking the owls late. After that was a really interesting buy for me. Normally, I only read about superheroes in comic books, but I wanted to give this a try. It's Miles Morales' Spider-Man. I love Miles Morales. I think he is a really intriguing superhero, and the fact that they had a book format of what I believe might be his origin story has me super pumped because there's going to be an animated version of Miles Morales' origin story coming out, and I just really want to get my full fill of some Miles Morales, and reading it as a book seemed like a super cool way to read about Spider-Man in a different format. And it was written by Jason Reynolds, who is an Owned Voices author. Next, I also got this at the library sale, and it is continuing my collection of the Spiderwick Chronicles with this Spiderwick notebook and observation journal. I had this one as well growing up, and it was just a fun way to interact with the story. I used mine though, and I plan on leaving this one blank. It goes through and explains some of the different creatures, as well as lets you create your own. So I plan on leaving this blank, but maybe I'll have my kids use it when I'm reading through the Spiderwick Chronicles with them. After that, from the book sale, I also got Restart by Gordon Corman. I do know a little bit about this book. I almost picked it for a class I was doing for relevant subjects in schools. Restart has a bully who loses his memory and forgets he's a bully. He deals with his amnesia by kind of assessing who he was and who he wants to become. I ended up choosing a different book though, so when I saw this one, I picked it up because I still really wanted to read this book and hopefully do a review on it along with some other middle grade books, since, you know, I have like a stack. Then at Powell's, I picked up a semi-definitive list of Worst Nightmares by Crystal Sutherland. I'm gonna be honest, it was the cover that drew me to this book first, as well as the cute little cat at the bottom. Essentially, it is about different types of fears and a family that is cursed and escaping said fears. So I'm really interested to start this one. It is low on my priority list as far as my owls go, but if I do read it, it'll be for my Transfiguration owls because it has a cute little cat at the bottom. Then at Powell's Books, I actually was going to Powell's partially to find this book. I ended up not going with the hardcover version of this graphic novel, even though it's super well loved and I really, really want the hardcover because I wanted to make sure that I liked it first. So I went with volume 1 of Paper Girls. And that is From Twinkle with Love from Sadia Menon. And this is the June Owl Crate edition that has featured different text background and her shirt is a different color. And I think I said the earring was different, but I'd have to look again to make sure of that. Also from the book sale, I picked up a library copy of The Squire's Tales, The Lioness and Her Knight by Gerald Morris. The cover itself kind of looks like a bit of a parody of like a medieval story. And the beginning told me it had to do with Arthurian legend, so I bought it immediately. Even if I don't like it, I definitely had to grab it because I hadn't read it previously. Lunetta is tired of living in dull Orkney with her mother and father, who happen to be the most boring knight at King Arthur's Round Table. I would love to know which knight that is. I have a couple different ideas since she's living in Orkney, but then it goes on to say, she prides herself on always getting what she wants. When the opportunity presents itself, she jumps at the chance to stay at a family friend's castle near Camelot. Her handsome cousin Sir Uwaine, a young knight seeking adventure, arrives just in time to escort her. I don't know if this will be any good, but I definitely want to pick it up, and I definitely wanted my own opinion on it since Arthurian legends I'm kind of picky on, but they're also really hard to find, so here I am. The last two books in this haul are actually not books at all, but graphic novels or comics. Feel free to correct me down below. I don't mind. The first one, admittedly, was definitely a cover buy. I saw this cover, and I don't even think I read the back, but I'm super excited to read the book itself, and that is Afar. Look at this cover. Like, it's so beautiful. I think I might save it just because I have so much on my plate right now, but it will be definitely happening soon. And finally, I got this, the book sale. It is The Tea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill. The cover was definitely adorable, but I have actually, while browsing Barnes & Noble, read about half of this book, so I already know that I wanted it, and I didn't want to just sit in a bookstore and read a book and then be like, done. So I knew I was gonna pick it up, and the sale on this was just too good to pass up. The illustrations in this book are honestly just adorable and really, really pretty, and I love tea. So tea dragons, I'm down for. And it seems like it actually incorporates tea into like the character design and world building of this story. So I cannot wait to read this, and I hope they have an Earl Grey dragon because Earl Grey's my tea. But at Powell's, they do have a lot of bookish items. Honestly, I could spend way too much money in Powell's despite their good prices. So I only picked up 2 bookish things that I just had to have, and a third item was free. While roaming Powell's, I got this carabiner key chain. It actually came with 2, so I have an extra one. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with it yet, but it keeps all of my keys together, and it looks like a giant old key. So I was pretty elated with this buy. After that, when checking out, they actually do give you free Powell's bookmarks, and I'm never gonna pass down a bookmark, even though I do dog ear my books. I also like using bookmarks. So I got a rainbow bookmark that says Powell's Books, and it also has the different locations of Powell's Books on the back. Several of them just say Hawthorne over and over again because that is the park blocks that it takes up. Finally, this was probably my favorite non-bookish item. I can get so much use out of this. I got a tote bag, and it says reader on it, and it's set up to look like a tarot card. The fabric is really good quality. I love the colors. I love how simple it is. When first looking at it, it just looks like your basic tarot card, and then it says the reader on it, and my heart stopped when I saw it. I had to get it. Carrying all of my picture books back is a lot easier if I have a super deep bag, because picture books are so tall, it kind of makes them really heavy too. So yeah, now all of my book hauls will definitely feature this bag because I will not go anywhere without it. So that is this book haul in its entirety. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked this book haul and you liked my trip to Powell's Books in the limited footage that I did get, let me know, and maybe I will also film my next trip to Powell's Books. I'm trying to get used to filming in public. It's really difficult for me to vlog. I'm trying to get a little bit better at it, and I don't mind the practice. But I hope you're enjoying the sun or more stars wherever you are, and until next time, bye!
Alright, it's just dumb stuff like that I have to do. No, Luna, they broke up because they were tired of each other.
A semi-definitive list of worst nightmares. I've never heard of that before, and now I want it. And it's got a little cat at the bottom. And I love little cats, and I love purple. Today I am doing a... what? I just really... Sorry, my cat is screaming through the door. Kathy Alpelt. Kathy Alpelt? Pelt. A pelt. I'm going with a pelt. Kathy Alpelt, Allison McGee. Well, I can read Allison McGee.